All right, so I am definitely recording a copy of this workshop. I wanted to thank everyone for participating and joining us tonight. We are talking about today about a home buying process. What does that look like from start to finish? So the name of it is A to Z. I am going to share my screen with you, and so that way everybody who's participating is going to get a copy of the workshop as well. Please let me know that you can see it.
Yeah, I can see your screen. You just have to make it bigger.
Okay. Of course, it's covering a little bit. All right, here we go. All right, so just a little bit about me. My name is Olga St. Pierre, and I am a local real estate agent right here in our community. So thank you so much for allowing me to share my knowledge and my experience with me. Our team has been servicing clients in New Jersey and Pennsylvania for the last 12 years. And our team mission is truly, the goal is to help anyone with a plan and desire and passion, help them become homeowners. And once you become homeowners, you are part of our community, and we work with you and help you be sustainable and responsible homeowners as well. Okay. We are a part of a network and can help you move and live pretty much anywhere in the United States and Canada. Please let us know if this is something that we can help you, your friends, family, co-workers. And also, we have an extensive array of concierge services to help people with being responsible homeowners, sustainable homeowners, which means that we are your virtual yellow pages. If you need recommendations for contractors, for professionals, for an accountant to help you do your taxes, we are here and we have all those resources available. So please don't hesitate to use us as your resource to help make your life more efficient and easier. So let's jump right in. I wanted to, usually if I do this in person, right, I always want to know for people who actually join us in our classroom and for this workshop is what is it that's drawn you, to what would you like to learn more about the home buying process, and then what brings you in today. However, because we are on Zoom, I encourage you to raise your hand, or if you want, type in your questions in the chat box, or just chime in as we are going through. My goal is to make sure that I answer all of your questions today and really help you understand truly what it takes to buy a home. Okay. So here's what we're going to talk about today. A couple of things. We're definitely going to cover what the real estate market is right now. It's very important to understand. Even if you're not thinking about buying in the next 6 months to a year, I always suggest to people that it is never too early to learn what the process looks like. Okay, so we're going to talk about fears and some of the facts about buying a home, something that I hear very often. We're also going to talk about the major 6 steps and what we separate and how this works in terms of home ownership. We're going to talk about financing, right? Because that is a big piece, because there's a lot of misconceptions there. And then, of course, here's what's next step, right? If this is something that you want to take further, maybe you want to have a conversation about what your dreams and your goals are, we definitely can do that and help you out. So fears versus facts about buying a home. Okay, this is what I see quite often. So number one is I cannot afford to buy a home right now, right? I'm thinking about renting. I need to save up money. And, what I think might happen is I would have to save thousands of dollars. And in reality is that really the first step should be not that looking at houses online quite yet, right? Because it's somewhere like letter N on our alphabet of home buying process of A to Z. But the reality is the best thing you can do is sit down with someone who is knowledgeable, a real estate agent, someone like myself, where you can talk about what is it that you desire, right? What are some of the things that you're looking for, where you may want to buy, because you might be surprised. You may want to buy a home, actually be able to buy a home a lot sooner than you think. Okay. I should wait until the market gets better. Well, I can tell you that I get this question all the time. When is a good time to sell? When is a good time to buy? And my answer to you is, again, what are your dreams and goals? What are you trying to accomplish? And the best time is when the time is right for you, right? Depending on what you would like to accomplish. The next is, I don't have the money for the down payment. Well, today I'm going to share with you guys the fact that in many cases, you can buy a home with no money down. Okay. And you can buy you can buy a home with as little as 3.5% down. I think the misconception that is right now around us is that you need to have 20% down. And a lot of people think that's a lot of money, right? So overall, yes, 20% is a lot. However, you don't have to have 20% down. Okay. And we're definitely going to cover that. I cannot afford to buy my dream home. Well, you know what? That may happen. And again, this is something that we sit down and we talk about it. We crunch some numbers and we look at it as a bigger picture. And we say, you know what? Perhaps the goal right now would be to buy a smaller starter home. I am a big believer in growing your wealth for real estate, for becoming a real estate investor. And this is something that I share with everyone, that you may not want to rely on your pension and Social Security. It's going to be up to you to set yourself up for retirement. And real estate investing is one of the best ways to do that. So can we talk about maybe doing something like that and having your first home eventually become your investment property, where you move up and you get your dream home and you actually have an investment property and you are on your way to a real estate wealth? Okay. So why buy now? I can tell you that only all the years that I have been practicing real estate, I have never seen interest rates so low, right? 2.5%, 2.2%, definitely under 3%. The rates right now are incredible. And what that means is that because the interest rates are low, you are able to buy either a more of a home, or you are able to afford a home right now, right? It's a different level. And what has happened is, with the real estate market right now, is that there are so many people that want to take advantage of these rates. There's a lot of people that are currently shopping because they truly understand the beauty of a lower interest rate and what that means for them in terms of becoming homeowner versus renting. Okay. Number two, we already mentioned to you, real estate wealth is huge and very, very important. Okay. Buying a home is you investing long term, right? That's what that means. And your long term investment is going to grow over time. You're going to build equity because you're going to pay down your mortgage. Okay. Your home is 100% going to appreciate. Okay. But it just takes slower than the stock market, for example. And you're paying down your debt, right? And having a mortgage is actually having a good debt. So don't think that you're getting yourself saddled with more debt and it's kind of creating a negative connotation and maybe thoughts in your mind. Okay. And number three, absolutely pride of homeownership. Okay. Being a homeowner means it's stability and security, right? You have your own place where you can relax and you can just, unwind after a long day, after work, where you have you and your family and your loved ones. It is also a sense of community. Absolutely. And it's also freedom to customize, right? When it's your own home, you can do what you would like with that, any kind of painting, what you want to do in your backyard. The other one, tax benefits, is huge. Okay? Once you become a homeowner, you can deduct a lot of things that pertain to your mortgage and being a homeowner. It is wealth building, right? So you can kind of hear my points and my thoughts about being a homeowner. And also you can help future generations. I do know some families who actually keep the home and they leave the home to their children and hopefully their grandchildren, because to them it is the most important thing. It's that sense of security that stays in the family. Okay. Now, here's another picture just to give you an idea, right? What it means of renting versus owning. Okay. When you are renting, a lot of times you have a lot of restrictions. You can't have a dog, right? Or maybe you can't have any kind of pets at all. You can't quite, make your home your own. Okay. You have strict landlords. And overall, if you think about it, When you are renting, you're paying someone else's mortgage. So really it is money out the window. However, when you own, that is your place 100%. Okay. You can use whatever paint color you want. You can have however many pets you want. There's no landlord to tell you what you can or cannot do. And you are investing in yourself. You're investing your own money into a long-term investment. So why hold off buying? What I can tell you for sure is that not having to buy or having this conversation that I already mentioned to you, where we sit down and we talk about it, sometimes I will tell you, you know what, for you right now, the best time is to buckle down and save, or for you to gain some of your employment history, right? If you haven't been at your employment long enough, or you don't have a steady employment history, that may not be an ideal time for you to purchase a home. And I will be honest and tell you that. And what that means is we can create an action plan for you, so that way you know that in a few months, or whatever your circumstances are, you're going to be able to go ahead and buy that home. So number one is when you're changing jobs. In order for you to get a mortgage, you need to have a steady and reliable job. You can't be hopping from one job to the other and do a couple of months here and a couple of months there. It really is best to have at least 6 months of a stable work employment history, and the lender is going to check on that as well for you. Okay. Financial, right? This is something that is quite often a reason for somebody who said, okay, what do we need to happen? How much money do I need to save, right? Do I need to maybe work on my financial health, my credit score? This is something we're also going to cover in the next steps, right? So that could be a reason where I need to have someone to just buckle down. And I can give you an example. I have a great family. They are running out of space in their small home. And when we ran their credit and we looked at their financial history, what we realized is that they had some things that they need to pay off, and they needed to get on track of making payments on time to get their credit score where it needed to be in order for them to get into their dream home. And that dream is going to be realized in March. So they are literally a month away. We're going to recheck their financial history and recheck their credit score, and they should be good to go. And this is something we've been working on with them for a year. Okay, so that's how long it took. And I check with them on a monthly basis and say, hey guys, how are we doing? Are we on track? And they're like, yes, we are. We are doing really good. We're excited. Okay. Next is a biggie. And I'm going to ask you, and this is something that I want you to think about, is when you are thinking about a home, I want you to think small and think about how much realistically you are going to be able to afford to pay per month, because your living arrangements, your mortgage, is going to be the biggest expense that you have. And it is one of the most important ones because it's a necessity. So instead of thinking, well, I can qualify for $350,000 house, I want you to think and tell me, how much are you comfortable paying per month for your mortgage, knowing that you have additional expenses besides that, right? You have your phone bill, you have your car, you have your food, utilities, right? All those things play into that planning mode. And that's why that first meeting is so critical and important. And also short-term ownership. If you don't think that you're going to be in the area very long, this specifically has to do also with my military clients. If they're only coming into the area for 1 year, sometimes it does not make sense to buy. And I just tell them, you know what, give yourself a peace of mind and then just rent. If you think that your tour of duty is going to be extended, maybe 2 years or 3 years, then it makes sense to talk about buying. And at that time, let's sit down and figure this out. All right, here is today's economy. I wanted to share this with you because this is something that I share with everyone, whether you're buying or selling. And that also depends on the area where you're thinking about settling. Okay. I want you to be very, very clear to know, so that way you can adjust your expectations when you're out there looking at homes. Okay. So I took one town in Mercer County, right? So we're right here. What we have is Hamilton in Mercer County. And what I did is a 12-month overview, okay? Because the prices, how long it takes to sell a home, how long it's going to take for you to find something, what you can bid on, how long homes stay on the market, okay? All of this is going to be on this sheet of paper. And it's also important to understand how home sales vary with seasons, right? We are going into a spring season very shortly, which means that it's going to get even busier. right? Because a lot of people are thinking that they're going to put their houses on the market in the spring, just in time to sell for the summer. A lot of buyers want to be into their new homes in August in time for the kids to be admitted to schools. So just keep that in mind. And what I want to show you is the full 12 months are January through January, okay? And what I want to show you, which is important for you to understand, so that way you can truly understand that if you decide to venture into this market now, what you can expect, okay? And making sure that your expectations meet the reality is very, very much critical right now. Okay, so here's what I want to show you, for example. So in the month of December, 51 homes were listed in the township of Hamilton. And then we scroll through. And then what I want to show you is right here in the middle, where it says pended. Okay. And pended means this is how many homes went under contract that month. So you can see that what actually happening and the demand for homes is much higher than how many homes went on the market. Okay. And you can see it pretty much is similar to many, many months. And these numbers will vary if you are going to a different town, if you're going to a different school district, if you're going to a different state, right? That's why it's important when I sit down and I speak with you about your needs and your wants and what your dreams are about homeownership. I'm going to ask you, where do you want to be? Is the school district important to you? And then based on your radius, right, or your circle of where you're going to be thinking about buying your home, we're going to look at this so that way I can show you this, okay? Then what I also look at is the second to last column. It's called days on the market. And that will tell you basically how many days on the market the home stays before it gets an offer. Okay. And what I can tell you that if you narrow down the price point, this was just wide. I just kind of put it all together. But let's say if you were to do this from 100,000 to 400,000 right now, days on the market are probably a week. Okay. And what that means really is the expectation is that you need to get into the home that you saw online that you like, either on day one or day two. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to see it because it will be sold. Okay. So that is the expectations right now, is where you need to be able to get into that home the first day it comes on the market or second day. And then you have to be able to make a quick decision. Okay. The demand for the homes is so high right now because of the interest rates. Is what I am sharing with my buyers is that number one, you cannot get attached to this home because I don't want you to get too upset and heartbroken if you're not going to get it. You will absolutely have to make an offer that is asking price or higher to be even competitive. Okay. You have to make sure that you're not being very picky about the inspections and what you're asking on your inspection report, right? Because that's part of the due diligence process. That is absolutely true. However, if you're going to be nitpicking on little things, they're just going to say, you know what, we're not interested in working with you. We have one or two or three backup offers. We're going to go to those people who maybe are more serious. Okay. So the expectations right now is that you are going to lose out on more offers than getting one accepted. I'll give you an example. This week, I had a great buyer who got accepted, whose offer got accepted on a really, really cute house in Burlington County. It was our offer number 3, right? It was the third offer. And we pulled out all stops. We offered them $5,000 more than what the asking price were. We were in the house on day 1. And on day 2, when we wrote the offer, they already took the home off the market because they did not want to have any more people going through their house. And we wrote them a letter. We really tightened the time frame for doing inspections. We did all of those things, and our offer was accepted. Okay. And what I can tell you is that right now, going through this market with buyers is very stressful. There's a lot of emotions involved because people are losing out on more homes and opportunities than in all the years that I have been practicing real estate. So it's important to understand that if you're going to get out there, that's perfectly fine, but you need to be 100% prepared and understand what to expect. All right, let's talk about 6 major steps to home ownership, and we're actually going to be going through each one of them. So your number one step is not to go online on other websites and looking at houses. Your number one step is to hire an agent. Okay. When you are shopping for a home and you are looking at houses, your agent, number one, does not cost you a penny. Okay. When we work as buyers agents and we represent buyers, our commission gets paid when that buyer, first of all, buys the house. And second, the commission gets paid by the seller. So it does not cost you anything to have an amazing person by your side who watches your back, who gets you all the information that you need, who holds your hands throughout the whole transaction, helps you make sure that there is no issues, coordinates the work of other professionals, negotiates on your behalf, and solves any problems that may arise. Okay, so number one, the best thing you can do for yourself is get that a professional, someone who is knowledgeable in the area where you're going to be shopping. And I encourage you to interview a couple of different people to make sure that you fit, right? The personalities are there and you feel comfortable working with that person. Okay. They will educate you about your market. It's important that they ask you, and the agent will ask you about your dreams and goals, right? It's important for an agent to truly understand what you're looking for so that way they can actually make a list of homes for you that truly fit your criteria. So that is your step number one. Okay. Next, because you're working with an agent, it's also important to understand that that agent is investing their time, which is our most valuable commodity in working with you. And we as agents, you also have to remember, we don't get paid until you find the home. Sometimes that can take 6 months, which means that we are with you side by side all the time, as long as it takes. And what's important for us is for you to understand that we are committed to each other, right? So the setting mutual expectations in writing, talking about time frames, and that commitment needs to be in writing so that way you agree to work with each other and nobody else. So that's also very important. Number two, let's talk about financing. Very, very critical in today's market. Okay. When you are getting ready to make those offers and you're out there looking at houses, you need to have your financing pretty much worked out and done. Okay. And here's a list of documents that you're going to need to prepare. Okay. I forward this list to all of my new clients, buyers that we're starting to work together. And this is something that I'm going to ask you to get done right away. Being a responsible and prepared buyer is going to either help you win that house or not win it at all. That is how it's important. Because if the seller and the listing agent sees that you have already been pre-approved, you already submitted your documents, all you're looking for is a house, it's going to tell them that you are serious about this process and you are going to get them to settlement. You're going to become a happy buyer and they're going to be a thrilled seller. Okay, so 2 years complete tax returns. At this point, we're probably going to be asking you soon for 2020 as well as 2019, 2 years of your W-2s, 2 months of your pay stubs, and 2 months of your bank statements where your down payment and your savings are that you plan on using towards your home purchase. Okay. All right, let's talk a little bit about your financial health. Okay, this is something that we discuss at the time when we sit down and we talk together. Okay, please, please, please understand that this is critical. Okay, we discussed, and these are some of the questions that I ask you right away. Do you know your credit score? Okay, if you don't, that's okay. It's not painful. We're going to figure that out, right? Because that is lender's job to make sure that they understand where your financial health is. However, please remember that the higher your credit score is, the better opportunities, options, rates, everything you're going to be able to get. And then you'll be able to pick and choose the product and the program for your home purchase that will fit your needs best. And you know what that means? In order to have a good credit score, that means that you are paying your bills on time. That is one of the most important things. If you're late making payments on your phone bill, on your electric bill, you're going to have problems getting pre-approved to buy a house. Okay, because that's what they're going to look at. It is your reflection of you as being a responsible person towards your bills. If you cannot pay your basic bills on time, with mortgage being your most expensive one, the lender is not going to give you money, right? So this is about trust. Okay, so one of the best things that you can do for yourself if you want to improve your credit score, maybe you're not sure where it is, making sure you're paying your bills on time. One of the best ways to do that is to have all of your bills be paid automatically taken out of your checking account, automatically get billed on your credit card. However you want to set that up so that way you will never ever forget. If you're away, you're on vacation and you forgot to pay your bill, you're not going to be in trouble. So as you can see, the best rate to have really is 620 and higher. Okay, so the minimum, the lowest rate right here is 620, is what it's going to get you qualified for government rates. And remember, the lower your rate, the higher the interest rate is going to be, because you are considered to be more risky to the lenders. Okay, so the goal really, if you want to be a stellar borrower to get the best terms and rates, is 740 and higher. Okay, so let's look at the programs. This is where I break it down for you and help you understand that you don't need to have 20% down. The buyer that I mentioned to you just recently is very excited because I was able to find her a home, and she's using a USDA loan with no money down. Okay, it's costing her deposit and her closing costs, and that is it. She's very excited. She's getting a house of her dreams in the price point that she's looking for. That was the one where we talked about, that was her third offer that was just recently accepted. Okay, if you're a veteran or active duty military, you can use your VA benefits absolutely with no minimum required. Okay, so with conventional loan and another government loan that's called FHA, you can put as little as 3 or 3.5% down. Okay, again, one thing just to keep in mind, the higher your credit score, the lower minimum down payment you're going to be able to get, because the lender trusts you. Okay, if you're not sure where you are, if you're not sure about your credit score, it's even that more critical for us to get together. We can do it on Zoom, we can do it by phone, whichever way is comfortable for you. So that way we can figure out where you are now and what is it going to take you to get there. What I can tell you is that people don't realize that if they make a mistake and their credit score suffers, right? Let's say it drops a couple of points or maybe 10 or 20 points, it will take months to get that credit back up. It will take time. It's not overnight thing. It can take sometimes 4 to 6 months. So if it's something that you want to do sooner than later, but you're not sure where you are, call me. Let's talk. Let's figure this out. So here's just another way for you to see roughly, right? The higher the rate is, the less of a home you're able to afford. Okay. So if your credit score is iffy and your rate might be higher, right? That means you're only going to be able to afford a home around 217,000. Just remember, this is like a theoretical example, right? But if you are in good shape and your credit score is excellent and your financial health is great, you're able to afford almost an extra $40,000 of a home. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Now, if you want to check your credit for free, you can easily do that once a year from all 3 credit bureaus by going to annualcreditreport.com. It is one of my favorite tools that I recommend for potential home buyers, as well as when you become a homeowner, or even if you're not buying a home, I encourage you to check your credit, because you never know what's on there. And it is really your responsibility. You are responsible for yourself and your own actions to make sure that your financial health is in good shape. Okay, so once a year, or if you want, you can spread it out over a period of each quarter. You need to request your credit report and make sure that everything that's on there is supposed to be on there. All right, let's talk about lender, how we're going to find one and partner with. Number one, please do not go online and just find some Joe Schmo just because it's being advertised. Okay, that is the bad idea. And when we are working and we're making offers, all agents that are in our area prefer to see someone who is reputable, who is local, who is going to get the job done. Okay, you can ask for referrals. I have a couple of people that I work with that I'm more than happy to recommend to you. And I also strongly suggest that you interview and speak with a couple of them to see, again, who are you most comfortable with? Because this is the person that is going to guide you through and be there for you up until settlement date. And you are making a big investment, probably the biggest one of your life so far. Okay, lender is going to help you get all your documents together, get your loan application processed, all of those things, and also help you realize what is the best loan option for you. So it's very important that you feel comfortable using and working with the lender of your choice. Next, yes, we're talking about a B word, and the B word is a budget. People don't like to talk about it because it's a reality. It's not pretty. It makes them think about money. But guys, it is something that you absolutely need to do. Okay. I am a big fan of, because I have a couple of them, and I strongly recommend you get one too. A notebook. Okay. If you're not sure where your money goes, you need to create a budget. Okay. Number one, you are creating a budget of the things that you absolutely have to have, right? Your necessary expenses. That is your rent, your food, your utilities, your student loans, car loans. Okay. You need to identify all of your expenses. Okay. Then determine the amount you can comfortably spend on your new home as a monthly budget. Okay. Remember, then review what this looks like. And trust me, when you take it from your head and you put it on paper, it's going to be a reality check. And it is one of the best ways to say, okay, what do I have? Where do I need to cut back? Because I need to make some plans and I need to be real with me. Okay. So creating a budget and working on it is part of your game plan. Okay. So here's some things for you to consider. How much money do you need for the down payment? Right. If you're going to only put 3% down, your monthly mortgage payment is going to be higher. Right. The more money you put down, the less of a monthly payment you're going to have. Okay. Besides down payment, you also have closing costs. A lot of people don't realize that. Overall, it's about between 7 and 8% of the purchase price. Okay. Where are these funds coming from? Is this something that you are saving? Is this something that the family can give you, right? Because you can actually get gift money. Okay. We are now in the month where we are a couple of months away from tax time. One of the best ways to start saving to purchase a home is number one, creating a savings account that is called home buying or dream home or something of that nature, and taking the refund that you hopefully are going to get from your tax return and taking all of that money and putting into your savings account. Okay, that is where your money is going to come from. Also, if you get bonuses at work, if you get a raise, you take that extra money and that bonus, and again, you put that in your dream house fund. Okay. All right, monthly mortgage payment. I just want to explain to you what that monthly payment looks like and what is it comprised of. It's four things. So we call it PT, P-I-T-I. Okay. P stands for principal, which is the amount of money that you borrowed that you're paying back every month. Interest, of course, is how the bank is making money. Okay. You're paying the lender for the loan. Insurance is your homeowner's insurance. You have to protect your home. And then T is the big one. It's your property taxes. Okay. What I can tell you is that the biggest influence on your monthly payment is going to be property taxes, right? So for example, if you are thinking about buying a home in Burlington County, the highest property taxes are in Morristown, right? That means that if you wanted to live in Morristown and you have a budget, you're going to be able to afford a smaller home because you want to live in Morristown because your property taxes may be a couple of $1,000s a month, right? Depending on what you're looking for. So it's very important when we sit down again and we talk about where do you want to be, right? If you want to be in a certain school district can be comprised of different townships where property taxes are different. So we can try and pick and develop a strategy to help you maximize your monthly payment. Next, once you get pre-approved and you have all your documents in order and your lender said, hey, Pete, you are ready to go. Tony, you are ready to go. Guess what? We're going to hunker down and we're going to be on a mission. And the mission is to find a home. And that means we're not making any big purchases. Okay. We're not buying a car. We're not planning on buying furniture for your home that you don't have yet. We're not adding any new credit cards. We're definitely not applying for anything else. We're not changing jobs. And we are not spending our money, the down payment in our dream home fund. Okay. That's very, very important. And I'll remind you as we go through the process, these are the things that you need to kind of be mindful about. Number 3, we are now ready to go and we're going to be shopping for your home. Okay. This is where we talk about, okay, we are setting up a search. I need you to tell me the things that you absolutely need in your home that you're not willing to compromise on and the things that you want. Okay. We're going to learn about our market and we're going to play around and make sure that we refine our search and then we are ready to go and look at homes. Okay. Now, remember, your agent, that doesn't cost you a penny. What their job is to make sure that you are getting a sound investment, right? The things that you might be looking for are like space and layout and how far this home is going to be from your work. Is it going to fit your family? Is the dog going to love the backyard? My job as your agent is going to be watching your back and make sure that the home does not have any issues in terms of maintenance. If the roof is old, right? If things change, right? If in a couple of years you have to sell that home, are you going to have a problem reselling that home, Okay, how does this home compare in terms of other homes? Is the price right? Right, so that is what my job is. Now, some people might be interested, instead of buying a single family home, you might be interested in buying just a small condo or townhouse. We have the pros and cons that we always discuss. Okay, when you have a condo or townhouse, if there is an HOA, which is a homeowners association, that is an additional monthly payment that you will have to pay. Okay, is this something that's of interest to you? I have a guy who is single, who recently purchased a condo. He said, Olga, I don't want to do anything with lawn. I don't want to take care of the snow. I want to do nothing. I just want maintenance free. And that's why he bought a condo, and he was comfortable paying the homeowner's fee because someone else was taking care of them. So this is just something for you to consider. Same thing with new construction. There's pros and cons. Okay. In the area where we're at, new construction is very expensive because we are so close between two metropolitan areas, New York and Philadelphia. Most of the land has been snatched up and already developed, and there's not a lot of new construction that is affordable, right? If you're looking at things that are 700,000 and higher, then some of the options are still there. So if this is something that is of interest to you, then we can definitely talk about it further. Okay. Step 4, we found the house of your dreams. Again, we're going to jump in depending on the situation, depending on what the seller is looking for, and we're going to make an offer. Right. So number 1, offer is going to reflect the true market value of the home. And again, it depends on the market where we're in, right? If we're doing this something now, you're going to have to offer what they're asking or higher if you want to even be in the running for your offer to be considered. Okay. Then there's other terms that we are talking about, right? Besides price, we also talk about, are we going to have contingencies in place to make sure you're protected? How much of a deposit that you want to do? What is the closing date? Is there anything else that's important to you to make sure that we make this a win-win for you as well as the seller? Step number 5. So what I always talk about is there's 2 phases in the home buying process. If you want to really look at it as a bird's eye view, phase 1 is we're getting ready and we're looking for the home. And once we have found the home and we won the contract and we have it in writing, that's the end of phase 1. And then phase 2 starts contract to closing process, right? Once we are found the house of our dreams, we have the contract. And then from that point on, we're working on our mortgage. We are doing the home inspection on the home, and we are looking towards that closing date when you are going to become a homeowner. So that's phase 2. So this is right here is the start of phase 2. So what we're doing is we are doing a home inspection, right? There's a certain amount of days that is given for the home inspection from the date the contract has been executed. And the goal is to make sure that the home that you're buying, the investment that you're making, is in good shape, right? And what we're looking at big items, right? We're looking at heating and air conditioning. We're looking at roof, window, siding, and structural issues. Make sure that the basement is in decent shape. We are not going to nitpick on little things for sure, okay, especially in today's market, okay? Next, after that, we are working on doing the inspections, and then parallel, we're also working on our mortgage, right? And your lender is there every step of the way to advise you every week if there's anything needs to be done, if there's any additional documents that are needed. We're going to get an appraisal on a home to determine its true market value. That's important for your mortgage. Okay. And then a couple of weeks, you guys can finalize your packing and your moving plans. Okay. And then a day before or the day of closing, we're doing a final walkthrough to make sure that the seller has moved out and there's no issues. And then on the day of closing, I actually bring you balloons and say congratulations, and you get a key to your own home after you sign the appropriate legal documents. So guess what? Once you become a homeowner, that's not it. This is going to be your biggest investment of your life for most people. And that means you have to protect your investment. And how do we do that? We maintain it, right? I provide you with a spreadsheet of routine maintenance on your home, on all of your systems. Okay, you need to keep an eye on your home, watch it for wear and tear, for signs of leaks and damage, right? With snow around, with heavy wind, things can get damaged. Okay, and whenever you do any kind of work or you buy things for your home, make sure that you have a file for all of your receipts, right? Because you need it for your warranty. Make sure you scan those receipts because the receipts fade. And if you cannot provide proof for your warranty is null and void. So that's very important. Now, I just wanted to reiterate to you that number one step when you are shopping and getting ready to buy a home, whether it's today or a year or two from now, your number one thing is get together with a good agent who is going to be partnering with you to help you create a plan, sit down with you and ask you the right questions that maybe you haven't even thought about asking yourselves. Okay. So when I work with my clients, this is my commitment to you. I put this out in writing so that way you feel comfortable. Okay. And if you don't feel comfortable because maybe we don't mesh in some way, then there's plenty of other agents out there that can help you get your home. So a couple of suggestions. Number one, we have an awesome app. If you wanted just to kind of browse and look at some things online, here's the link for you. Okay, you can shop, you can like things. You're more than welcome. That will give you an idea, what's out there in the world, right? Because if you have no idea what you want to buy, but you have an idea maybe where you want to be, you can just start by browsing and maybe doing some preliminary searching for sure. Okay, now last call is we are here to help you, right? This one of the things that I truly enjoy is being a resource to the community is through these workshops. I do these at least once or twice a week. We put out a lot of information because I want you to understand that the help is here for you, the help that is local. Okay, what you see on Zillow, what you see on social media and on TV is not relevant because every part of the country is different. How we handle things here in New Jersey is different from Pennsylvania, very much different from California and Texas. So it's important to know what is relevant here, right here in our community. Okay. So if you are on this call because you're thinking about buying, my question to you is going to be, do you need to sell a home in order to buy another one? That is a very important conversation. Okay. So of course, I am here for you. My contact information is here. You are going to get a copy of this workbook, and you're always welcome to check our workshop schedule because we do have lots and lots of classes that we put out every month. So this is what I have to share with you today. So now please let us know if you have questions. You are welcome to type them in. All right, so let me take a look at the chat box and see what questions we have. So Kyle is asking rent versus own question for later. I have read that it is not worth owning unless you plan to hold a home for at least 4 to 5 years. Any thoughts on the topic of rent versus own time frame? I think that 4 to 5 years is a decent time frame. I know that historically, what we have seen is that people move every 7 to 10 years. Okay. However, I think that what's important to understand is how much money are you putting down, and if you have an inkling that you may be moving in 4 to 5 years. But again, I think it might be something that we may want to talk one-on-one, so I can ask you more questions to truly understand where you're coming from. So that's important. Tony's asking, do all places that involve paying rent forbid pets? No, that is not true. Some landlords are more strict about this. Some landlords are pet friendly and they love pets. You just have to remember, it's depending on your breed, depending if you have a dog or if you have a cat, if the cat is declawed or not, the landlord can limit the breed, or they can ask you to either pay extra per month, or you're going to have a pet deposit in addition to your regular security deposit to make sure that that if the pet does any damage, then there's extra money set aside to do those repairs. All right, what else do you guys have? I hope that you found this helpful. I'm truly passionate about educating people and helping anyone. I truly believe that anyone with some planning can become a homeowner. And that is truly why I'm here and I do these workshops to help you understand that is truly possible for sure. All right, anyone else has anything else? All right, well, then I am going to say that's a wrap. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. We're going to get your copy of this recording as well as the workbook for this workshop. And please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you want to talk one-on-one. We can do a call, we can do a Zoom, any way that is comfortable for you. I'm here and I'm happy to help you.
There is one last quick question, Olga, in the chat.
Wow.
One last quick question in the chat box.
Okay, when do you feel people tend to be ready to buy a home? What age range? You know what, Tony, I know people that were 18 who bought, 18 and 19, right? I bought my first home, I was 23. So you can be ready to go, right? If we plan this and you qualify for no money down loan, it's just a matter of figuring out how much money you need to save for your closing costs, and you can become a homeowner. If you're paying $1,100, $1,500 a month right now, you can own a house for the same amount of money, for sure. So don't think that you need to be a certain age to be able to buy a home. You can buy a home once you become of legal age, which is age 18. As long as you have a steady employment. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out. All right, we're wrapping up. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you at the next one. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
My pleasure.